Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and today I'd like to talk about sports. Well, I've lived in Chicago my whole life, and I was saying yesterday how much I love sports. I love all the Chicago teams, most notably the White Sox. I don't hate the Cubs. I just prefer the White Sox, and I also like the Bears. I would say the Bears are number two for me, then the Hawks, and then the Bulls. But I've been to a bunch of games for each team. I would say that as of now, I've been to probably about 15 Cub games in my life, but I actually haven't been to Wrigley Field since 2002. I just never really liked the stadium. It's just old and run down, and honestly, I'd prefer if the Cubs just went into a new stadium or maybe just really fix Wrigley Field because it's run down right now. But the Hawks, I've been to in my life probably 20 or maybe about 20 or 25 Hawk games. Bulls probably about 20 or 25 Bull games maybe, and the Bears I've been to maybe about a dozen Bear games in my life, give or take. But far and away, the team that I've seen the most would probably be the White Sox. I've been to somewhere between 150 to 200 White Sox games in my life. This is dating back to 1995 through 2012, and I've also been to every single White Sox home playoff game since 2000, including the World Series in '05. It was incredible. I just hope they can be in the World Series again one day. But I also went to the All-Star game in 2003. That was a great experience. I hope we can get the All-Star game again in the next 15 or 20 years or so. But my very first White Sox game was actually on Friday, May 19th, 1995. I got the information here from baseballreference.com. I was 7 years old at the time, and I was in first grade, and I went to the game with my dad. We went to the game because well, the White Sox were playing the then California Angels, and the Angels had a backup catcher. His name was Mark D'Alessandro. Um, he was actually from my neighborhood. I'm from Chicago, and I've lived my whole life like in the Taylor Street area, and he lives near me. And we went to the game to see if he would play, but he actually didn't play that day. I have the information. The Angels catcher that day was a guy named Greg Myers. He was a career backup mostly, but he was the starting catcher for the Angels that day. And the Angels had Tony Phillips, who actually would play for the White Sox in '96, I believe. And they also had Tim Salmon, Chili Davis, J.T. Snow, and Jim Edmonds. They had a pretty good team that year. And here's something. Chili Davis was actually Mark D'Alessandro's roommate, and uh, I I think years ago I might have met Davis. I remember him being an okay guy. He seemed friendly, but the White Sox had a good team that year. They had Lance Johnson, Tim Raines, Frank Thomas, Dave Martinez, Robin Ventura, Ray Durham, Ron Karkovice, and Ozzie Guillen, and this was like about 3 weeks after the strike had ended. So the attendance was really low. The attendance for the game was only 20,001. Again, this is from BaseballReference.com, and the time of the game was 3 hours and 36 minutes. So it was a really long game. Even though it was a 9 inning game, there were no extra innings. It was just crazy, and unfortunately, the White Sox lost that game 6-5. And here's something weird. I remember being there for only like I want to say 5 or 6 innings. I kept going up and down the concourse throughout the game, and I remember eating a lot and going to the bathroom, walking around, and after wanting to get up again in the sixth inning, my dad was like, "Jake, let's go home. I'm tired," and he was just tired of walking, and he was just out of it. I remember it being kind of hot that day, so yeah. I mean, according to this, it's the weather was 74 degrees and it was dry that night. But he was kind of tired, I guess, and it was a night game too. The first pitch was at 7:07, and I remember the game for some reason being really slow moving. After like 5 innings, I had been there for at least an hour and a half, probably nearly 2 hours, and he was just tired, and well, we just went home, and that was the only game I actually went to in '95. I didn't really start going to games regularly until about '97, but I remember it being a decent game. I was kind of short, so I couldn't really see like on the field much, and but it was still fun though. I mean, it was a great moment, and this is the first of many moments I'll be sharing here on video with you. And yeah, but thank you for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow.